What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com, and let's kick it off with another Kentucky Derby Top 5 for this week. Once again, the Kentucky Derby Top 5 will be unchanged. They did have the Remsen Stakes last weekend. I did not put anybody from that Remsen Stakes into the Top 5, but we'll talk about it quickly right now. Last year, the Remsen did produce Mo Donegal and Zandon, two horses that we knew all along the Triple Crown Trail. You know, obviously, Zandon third in the Kentucky Derby. Won the Bluegrass, and then you had Mo Donegal, who ended up winning the Belmont Stakes. So it was kind of a productive prep. This year, I'm not so sure. It didn't come back too fast of a race. Dubyuhnell, the winner of the race, looks solid. Him and Arctic Arrogance definitely kicked clear of the rest of the horses. Definitely two horses I would put on the radar, at least. Just not horses I would put in the top 5. Arctic Arrogance and Dubyuhnell battled that whole stretch. Dubyuhnell eased clear a little bit before the wire, kind of get a decisive, well, not a decisive, but you know, kind of a going away, you know, in some regards of a win. He kind of just slowly pulled away from Arctic Arrogance, who was kind of stuck on the inside. Now, if you watch Aqueduct this weekend, they got a lot of weather, and the inside portion of that track was really, really tough to run on. It definitely an outside bias in that in those 2 days there at Aqueduct. So Arctic Arrogance was inside. Maybe if the positions are flipped, he gets the job done. You could debate that if you want, and maybe take that for next time if these two horses face off again. Arctic Arrogance, you know, closed, or not closed, but was running on a part of the track that wasn't the best. So just got to keep that in mind as you go along. But anyway, as far as top 5 for these two horses, I didn't see much of a reason to put them in and take some of these other horses out. We saw Instant Coffee last weekend. I did not put that horse in the top 5. I think he's a little bit better than what we saw on the Remsen. We'll see if that opinion holds up as we go on into the next round of preps. All right, let's go to the top 5 right now, and we're going to keep Forte at number 1. No new news on him right now, but Forte has earned that number 1 spot, a 3-time Grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old, including winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So Forte, pretty clear number 1 at this point. According to me, at least. According to John White, his number 1 ranked horse is my number 2 ranked horse, and that is Extra Anejo. John White came out last week with his Kentucky Derby, early Kentucky Derby top 10 on his expressbet.com column. And to no surprise to me, because I knew he was very high on Extra Anejo, he had him ranked number 1. To my great surprise, I'll describe it like that, he thinks Extra Anejo is going to win the Triple Crown, and yes, on November 30th of 2022, John White has predicted that Extra Anejo would win the 2023 Triple Crown after seeing him race just once. So obviously he loves him a lot. I like him a lot too. I've got him number 2 at this point. Hey, maybe he'll move up to number 1. We're going to see him one more time this year, most likely, and I'll talk about that to end this little video. So for right now, Extra Anejo, number 2 for me. Number 3 is Loggins. We've talked about Loggins a lot. Third or second in the Breeders' Futurity. Just barely was defeated by Forte in quite a stretch battle between these two. Of course, Loggins taking a little bit of time off to regroup before that 3-year-old season gets going. Forte went on, of course, to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So you got to like Loggins here at number 3. Number 4, Cave Rock. He was the quote-unquote unbeatable horse going into the Breeders' Cup. He got beat. Well, he's still a pretty nice horse, though. He did not run very well in that Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And his combination of Forte also ran very well. And so, you know, he wasn't quite at his best. Forte was fantastic. He got beat. That's how a big favorite gets beat. So it gets beat a lot of times. But Cave Rock's going to bounce back from that. I feel it. I have a big good feeling about that. I like him at number 4. I think he's going to bounce back and be just fine. Number 5, speaking of Keeneland on Breeders' Cup Day, Arabian Night debuted on Breeders' Cup Saturday in the first race at Keeneland and was a winner, maybe in the second race. First or second race, I don't remember. But anyway, Arabian Night did debut on that big day at Keeneland and dominated another Bob Baffert horse. A horse I think we'll see pretty early on in the 3-year-old campaign, probably in the Sham Stakes is where I'm going to guess. But again, it's just a guess with Baffert. And you never really know. He's got them all kind of mapped out. He's got so many of them. He's got a place in different spots. But I think Arabian Night for the Sham would make a lot of sense. And I think that's where we'll see him next. So keep an eye on him and for his second start. And just like Extra Anejo, 1 race under the belt. It came at Keeneland. It came at 7 furlongs. And it was a impressive debut made in special weight victory. So Arabian Night at number 5. This week, we have no official Kentucky Derby prep races. We do have the Advent at Oaklawn on Friday. It is a one-turn event, though. Not quite sure what that's going to produce as far as Kentucky Derby horses. A lot of maiden special weights running right now. Keep an eye on those. As you see, 2 of the 5 horses I have listed have just that one maiden special weight race under their belt, and those can pop up at any time. So keep an eye on the maiden special weight races at some of the bigger tracks. See if we get a future star there. As far as the American Kentucky Derby prep races that are left, we only have 3 of them to round out 2022 before we get into, obviously, 2023 when they really get going. Key dates: the Los Alamitos Futurity and the Springboard Mile at Remington Park will be December 17th. So keep that's next Saturday, December 17th. So keep an eye out for those 2. And then the Gun Runner on December 26th at the fairgrounds. And that is supposed to be where Extra Anejo makes his 2nd career start. So keep a close eye out for that. That could be a pivotal race, and could be a race ultimately that shakes up this top 5. As could the Los Alamitos Futurity, and everybody knows I'm a sucker for a horse in the Springboard Miles. So those are the 3 races that will round it out. I'll be back next week with an updated list, and maybe not, probably not, but I will be back with a video. List will probably be the same unless we see a crazy maiden winner, but also may have some more information on the horses that are pointing for that Los Alamitos and Futurity and Springboard Mile, and we can talk about that. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching this video this week of the Kentucky Derby Top 5. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you really like it, you want to subscribe, you want to get alerted anytime we do the new Top 5s and any other video we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.